Philippine National Police Chief Ronald de la Rosa admitted last Sunday that President Rodrigo Duterte is still angry for the terror attack in his home city last September 2. The explosion killed 14 people and wounded at least 67 others. De la Rosa, who have known Duterte for a long time, said the president's anger does not easily subside, particularly in such incident. The PNP chief said he already instructed all the police commanders to not let their guards down and to always be ready for similar terror attacks. One of the top stories of the week was the cancellation of US President Barack Obama's planned meeting on September 6 with Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte in Laos. Obama had earlier said that he plans to raise the issue of extrajudicial killings in the Philippines in his first meeting with Duterte. Duterte has been under intense global scrutiny over the more than 2,000 suspected drug dealers and users killed since he took office. But before flying to Laos for the ASEAN summit, Duterte warned Obama not to challenge him over extrajudicial killings in the Philippines. It's unusual for one president to tell another what to say or not to say, and much rarer to call the other a son of a whore. Duterte managed to do both. The bizarre riff with the leader of a US treaty ally was the most glaring example of how Obama has frequently found himself bound to foreign countries and leaders whose ties to the United States are critical, even if their values sharply diverge. Eager to show he wouldn't yield, Obama said he would undoubtedly still bring up human rights and due process concerns if and when he'll meet Duterte. The Bureau of Customs have said that Philippines will ship back to Canada the waste that arrived in the country in early 2013. The Customs said an interagency committee has agreed to push through with a court's order on the repatriation of the 2,500 tons of trash that came from Vancouver. The waste will be shipped back to Canada at the expense of the importer. The containers parked at the Subic and Manila International Container Yards are said to be causing port congestion, posing hazards to public health, and incurring expenses on the part of the Bureau of Customs. Remember that bank account of President Rodrigo Duterte that Senator Trillanes alleged to contain millions of pesos but turned out to be a dud? After the Davao blast, Good Samaritans has now been depositing money to that account to help the bombing victims. On social media, a Duterte supporter has started a call for donations through the bank account to help the armed forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police and the blast victims. The netizen asked the 16 million Filipinos who voted for Duterte to deposit 5 pesos each to the said bank account. Several netizens heeded to the call. Some deposited 50 pesos, others 20 pesos to help the blast victims. The top story of the week is something that happened more than a century ago. It was about the killing of 600 Moro people by American soldiers in 1906 in Hulu, Sulu. The Battle of Budaho was brought back to life when President Rodrigo Duterte referred to it during a media interview this week. Duterte spewed out a tirade of historical extrajudicial killings when asked by a Reuters reporter last September 5 about discussing extrajudicial killings with US President Barack Obama. Duterte said the United States has not even apologized to the Philippines for its atrocities during the turn of the century. It was in December 1898 when the US signed a treaty with Spain, acquiring the Philippines for $20 million. The Filipinos, however, refused the takeout and they waged a war. In 1906, hearing words that the Americans were going to invade, the people of Hulu fled to the crater of Budaho, an extinct volcano, believing that the spirits of the volcano will protect them. On March 5, 1906, the American soldiers, armed with mountain guns, rifles, bayonets, fast-firing pistols and grenades, attacked the Moro people who are only armed with kris and spears. The attack ended on March 7, 1906, with not one Moro standing, women and children among them. It was a complete massacre. And those are the top stories of the week. For more interesting reads, visit www.sunstar.com.ph. Follow us on our social media accounts. Have a wonderful weekend!